In this video, I am going to show you how to enable Lockdown Browser in your course. I have recorded some videos in the past, but something has changed since the last time I released it, so I'm going to record another one. And if you have seen some similar videos in the past, this is a refresher as well as an update. If you haven't seen the video before, that's fine. I'm starting from the beginning anyway. Lockdown Browser, let me explain what it is. It is a browser just like Safari, Chrome, Firefox, except that when you're using it, when the students are using it, it literally locks down their computer to the screen of their test. They cannot navigate away, they cannot copy, they cannot print, things like that. So it really enhances the security of your online exams or exams that you give using Canvas. To get started, I strongly recommend that you import a module into your course that has the instructions as well as the links for them to download Lockdown Browser. It is very essential for them to do so, otherwise they will Google it and download the Lockdown Browser that is not compatible with what we use on our campus. Every campus has a unique place to download Lockdown Browser. So to get started, you need to go to your course, click on Home, and download a module that I have already created and put in Canvas Commons. So you go to Canvas Commons, import from Commons. If you don't find this option here, it may be somewhere down here, because sometimes your screen is narrow and it may shift it downward. So anyway, you click on import from Commons once you find it, and then search for Lockdown Browser. I would recommend that you turn off Show Public Resources because you want to see the one from us, from our own university. So you click on that, Lockdown Browser, it should be here. Once you find it, you click on the name of the link, and then you find the course you want to add this into. So I'm going to add this to my sandbox course. So I check that and import into course. Okay, now I have finished doing that. You see there's a green bar saying you have successfully started to import. So now let's go back to the course. It's probably have finished doing this, and because usually it doesn't take that long. So go back to your course. The module that I was importing was imported into modules. Drag it to the beginning if you have multiple modules, if you use the module structure, which I recommend. And then in this module, what do you have? There's a title here, and then there's some instructions for you, showing you how to use it. So you might want to read this. It's pretty important for you to find out how to get this to work. And then there is instructions for students, which I have published. The one that is for you, I haven't published that. It's just for you to read. For students, there is a link for them to download it, so you might want to spend some time in class getting them to do it. This is the link for them to download it, and there's some video tutorial from respondents. And these are the instructions for them to use it on the computer, and these are instructions for them to do this on the iPad. The important thing about the iPad is they may have downloaded sometime in the past. Some students who are now in upper classes may have used Lockdown Browser in the past. At that time, Lockdown Browser on the iPad is complicated to use. You have to enable some kind of accessibility options to be able to use it. Right now, it is simpler, so you might want to ask them to check whether their Lockdown Browser is updated, or just delete it and download a new version. And then I recommend that you ask them to take a test quiz, which is right here in this module, but it's unpublished because I don't know whether you will use it or not. Everything that I have here is for you to customize. So if you decided to use it, so you need to publish it, and then click on it, and you can change the questions. I just have one sample question there that is kind of silly. You feel free to update it to your own questions, okay? As your own questions. Sometimes you can use this, for instance, test them over their knowledge about syllabus, or some trivia about your class. So make it not stressful, but just encourage them to use this once. I guarantee you, once students have taken the test quiz here, your problem using Lockdown Browser will go down drastically because they have experience doing this. So you might want to have this exam have unlimited attempts. Okay, do not restrict that because this is not a real test. So you can have them take it multiple times to make sure that their Lockdown Browser is still working every time they're about to take a major test, a real one. Okay, make it multiple attempts. You take the highest score. You can make it this extra credit activity for your class if you want to. And then how do you enable Lockdown Browser for the rest of your exams, like Quiz 1? You go to Lockdown Browser. This link, by the way, is not seen by the students. It's for you to see. You click here, and then you continue to Lockdown Browser. Quiz 1 is not requiring Lockdown Browser. So I am requiring this now, and I'm going to explain what you need to do to make this work, okay? You click the downward arrow here, and click on Settings, and instead of don't require, you click on Require, and then some other options will show up. You require it. If you want to require an access code, you can. Sometimes you don't want students to take this in their dorms, that's why you announce an access code for the exam, but you don't have to. But it's very important for you to check advanced settings here. Click on this plus button to expand it. There are 5 options here. Make sure you check allow students to take this exam with iPad, because some students are using iPad to take this. Other devices, the Android devices, they don't seem to allow Lockdown Browser. Right now it's just Mac, PC, or Lockdown Browser, unfortunately. There are some other options. Lock students into the browser until the exam is completed. If you check this, then students cannot get out of their exam entirely. Well, you may argue that's the purpose of using Lockdown Browser. But what if their computer has Wi-Fi issues? If you check this, then they are locked. They have to restart the computer to do it. However, there's a good way to get out of this. If you are proctoring the exam, or if somebody is proctoring the exam, you can give them or yourself a password. Let's say called exit. If you set this password, if somebody's Lockdown Browser is locked, then you click on the information icon. There are not many icons for Lockdown Browser, believe me, so you won't be able to miss it. And then there's a proctor option, and then you type in the password, they will be exited out of the exam so that they can fix their Wi-Fi issue. But of course, you want them to do that beforehand, and so save this as a last resort. Or you don't have to require them to finish this at one sitting, okay? And the rest allow access to specific external web domains. You may want to ask them to go one level to, for instance, if you have some kind of calculation site you want them to go to, just that one site, not other sites, you can allow that. You can provide the domain name or the see, there's some examples here, algebra, ebooks.com, things like that. But in most cases, people don't use this. And if you are using a calculator for exams, you can enable that. Then the calculator will appear on the menu bar. Enable printing from the toolbar. No, don't choose that in most cases, because that defeats the purpose. Because you don't want students to share the exam printed to another printers, things like that. That's going to be a mess. So do not use this. And you can also require Lockdown Browser to view feedback and results. When you enable this, they will not be able to see the results and feedback unless they use lockdown browser. When they are using lockdown browser, then they cannot share the correct answers or their own feedback with other people. So I think it's a good idea that you check that. So once all of this have been set up, if you click on Save and Close, and then your quiz 1 is ready for students to take using the lockdown browser. It is very important for students to be proactive in getting their computer ready, download lockdown browser. Do not have them wait till the exam to get all of this done. They won't have time when usually exams are timed, and they will be very stressed if they don't have this ready. So, but if they have done their work beforehand, taken a sample quiz, and make sure their iPad or computer works, and then they'll be fine. Many professors have used lockdown browser with greater success, and there are fewer and fewer problems. So usually after the first time they take it, they're good to go for the other tests. It will save paper, just save yourself the trouble of having to grade it, because computer in most cases will grade standardized ones. That's really going to be a blessing for both you and the students and the institution.